This is the Mazda CX30. It is Mazda's newest compact crossover. Is it worth your money? Let's find out. I know that all Mazdas look pretty much the same nowadays, but the CX30 looks particularly similar to the Mazda 3. And that's because the CX30 is based on the Mazda 3 platform. It looks like a lifted Mazda 3 Sportback. Like the Mazda 3, the CX30 also has LED projector headlamps, which are automatic. It almost looks like the panels at the front are the same. The CX30 has these black plastic moldings on the fenders. They give the CX30 a more rugged appearance. It has 18-inch wheels. I like the rear quarter panel of the CX30. Thankfully, it didn't inherit the Mazda 3 Sportback's rounded behind, which is one of the things that I didn't like so much about the Mazda 3. The CX30 has a shoulder, which gives the rear end a less rounded and more muscular look. The taillights of the CX30 look very similar to the taillights of the Mazda 3 Sportback. I wouldn't be surprised if they're exactly the same. This top-of-the-line model has a power tailgate. The CX30 is powered by the same engine that powers the Mazda 3. It's a 4-cylinder, 2-liter gasoline engine. It produces 152 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 200 Newton meters of torque at 4,000 RPM. It is coupled to a 6-speed automatic with sport mode. This top-of-the-line model is all-wheel drive. Okay, so this is the interior of the Mazda CX-30. As you can see, it has the same dashboard as the Mazda 3, or at least it looks very similar. Almost everything is covered in soft touch materials. This is leather, this is soft touch, this is soft touch, this is soft touch. The only plastic surfaces are underneath, over here. This is also leather. This is plastic though. But this is leather. Is it plastic? It is plastic. This is leather, leather, leather. The steering wheel is covered in leather, and the car has leather seats, perforated leather seats. The passenger seat is manually operated, manually adjustable, and the driver's seat is power adjustable. You have plenty of aluminum accents. This is aluminum. Also, these buttons are aluminum. This is piano black plastic, although it has a protective cover right now. The vehicle has an electronic parking brake with auto hold. This is a 6-speed transmission. Over here you have a 12-volt outlet, a USB port, and an SD card outlet, I think. It has a sunroof. And you also get plenty of aluminum accents. These buttons are made of aluminum. I can't think of any other vehicle in this class that has aluminum buttons on the steering wheel. And also these knobs have aluminum accents. Oh, they feel pretty good, man. They feel expensive. Yeah, the buttons feel expensive. Okay, so now at the second row, the front seat is adjusted to my seating position. I have decent legroom. Headroom is about this much. I think that's about 2 inches. I'm 5'8". Basically, you got about the same room as the Mazda 3 hatchback or sportback. Over here you have 2 air vents. Over here is an armrest. Over here is an armrest with 2 cup holders. No USB ports. No 12-volt outlets. This is plastic. As you can see, the sunroof eats up quite a lot of space. There's this bulge over here for the sunroof mechanism. Yeah, so the seats are also covered in leather. And yeah. This top-of-the-line CX30 is probably the most well-appointed crossover in this price bracket. Aside from having Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which you would probably expect at this price bracket, it has a 12-speaker Bose audio system. It has plenty of active safety features like radar-assisted adaptive cruise control. It has front and rear parking sensors. It has a 360 camera system. It has a lane keeping system which tugs at the steering wheel if you veer off your lane. It's something that you could turn off if you don't want it. It also has Mazda's iStop system, which automatically turns off the engine when you're at a stoplight to conserve fuel. And it has road following adaptive headlights. I don't think that the CX30 has direct competition in the Philippines. Most crossovers in its price bracket, like the RAV4, are larger. The CX30 is bigger than compact crossovers like the Kona and the Juke, and also a lot more expensive. Perhaps the closest in terms of size and features is the Subaru XV, but the XV is not as refined, and the CX30 is more expensive. The CX30 fills a pretty narrow gap between subcompact and compact crossovers. If there's one car company that consistently impresses me with their products, it is Mazda. They have completely reinvented their image. The Mazda that I knew back in the mid-2000s is no longer the same Mazda that's consistently redefining the market with their products that punch above their weight class. In terms of pricing, we're competing with the likes of Toyota and Honda, but in terms of fit and finish, they're competing with the likes of Audi and BMW. If there's one problem that I see, it is how the CX-5 and the CX-3 can coexist in Mazda's lineup without cannibalizing each other's sales. The CX-30 and the CX-5 are priced very similarly. The CX-5 is slightly larger, but not by much in my opinion. The CX-30, being a much newer model, benefits from more technology. If you're looking for a diesel crossover, the CX-5 is of course the clear choice. But if you're looking for a gas-powered crossover, the CX-30 makes more sense. It's funny when you realize that Mazda's biggest competition in this segment might be itself.